vision being to be an innovative hub for quality, to produce learners, to exploit opportunities for lifelong success. The mission is to facilitate quality teaching and learning by having conducive classroom environment every day. Strategic focus will be the sound corporate governance and accountabilities. Learners better prepared for further learning, word of work, entrepreneurship, a combined cohort of educators with the requisite skills for curriculum delivery, improved ECD provisioning, and collaborative responsive infrastructure planning and implementation. Treasury guidelines as per fiscal strategy. The fiscal strategy for the government first is to stabilize debt and put South Africa on a course to achieve a primary surplus and to stabilize the debt to GDP ratio. The second is to reduce the borrowing cost and the cost of capital, which will then attract investment that can support the economy. And this will be a course to achieve a primary surplus and build a capable, ethical, and development state, which includes what has been listed. Departmental priorities focus on what has been identified by the National Department of Basic Education within the broad sector plan of the 7th administration, which is looking at providing nutritious meal under the National School Nutrition Program to all qualifying learners, to provide learner transport to all qualifying learners, to repair or renovate aging school infrastructure, the safety of our learners and educators to be prioritized, to invest more in teaching and learning services in the classroom, and to provide support in special schools. The budget process is outlined by Treasury to prepare for 25-26 expenditure estimates is in the context of enhancing service delivery and ensuring value for money. Is to strengthen and evaluate alignment between medium and long-term plan. Prepared for 25-26 expenditure estimates is in the context of enhancing service delivery and ensuring value for money. Is to strengthen and evaluate alignment between medium and long-term plan, to revise policy priorities, identify non-core service delivery and redirect them, involve all role players who provide political and technical advice, compile a reprioritized budget with a focus on cost cutting, and lastly, to obtain the required authority from provincial legislature to spend. The budget that has been provided by the budget allocation for the 25-26 financial year is 65 billion for the department, 65,708,377. And this is detailed as follows. It is an overall increase, 55,990. For the 25-26 financial year, the increase to the equitable share is detailed as the additional funding to assist the department with budget pressures by 64 million, and two funds that are allocated for the wage agreement shortfall for 2025 is 497,100,000 is detailed as the additional funding to assist the department with budget pressures by 64 million, and two million 327, and another budget for 3,475,000. ECD has received early childhood development grant, which is the ECD, has received 17,351,000, and the maintenance grant increased by 51,000. The learners with profound intellectual disability grant has received an increase of 230 million. EPWP integrated grant for provinces has increased to 11,435,000, and the EPWP integrated grant for provinces has increased to 11,435,000, 435, and the integrated grant for provinces for maintenance has received an increase of 36,000. Last slide is the conditional. Provided an outline for the MTEF, being the total of 5 billion for 25-26 financial year, 26-27, 5,452,816, 27-28 is 5,701,556. We do want to highlight that the EPWP integrated grant for provinces and the social sector EPWP incentive grant have been combined into a single grant. Then we're going to see in the other slides, further slides, how that changes the figures. The breakdown for the budget is presented in terms of the ratio between the equitable share and the conditional grants, and the accepted benchmark for COE against the total budget. The accepted benchmark is at 80%, which is a national benchmark. The department is currently sitting at 83%, which is going towards the COE against the main appropriation for this financial year. The percentage that's going towards the school transfers is 4%, which leaves the operational budget at 13% on the main appropriation. With regard to the equitable share alone, excluding the conditional grants and exclusive and specific grants, the percentage that is going towards the COE for the department is 89%. Percentage going to school transfers is 4%, which leaves the operational budget at 7%. The 7% equates to 4,622 million for the department to carry out the operations for this financial year. The program breakdown. The budget growth is broken down fair, and associate services program 7 at 18.4%, resulting to an overall of 5.9%, and the actual figure of 3,701,618 of the 66 billion is the increase for the current financial year. We further presenting the budget per economic classification, indicating that compensation of employees have been increased by 6.3%, goods and services increased by 1.8%, buildings and other infrastructure is 11.9%, machinery and equipment at 27.8%. The departmental transfers for the non-profit institution, it's an increase of 5.5%, which has been allocated in this current budget. The next slides, Honorable Chair, we are unpacking per program what the increases are. And for program 1, administration has received an increase of 15.6%. The bulk of it going to corporate 7%. Corporate services will include the cost of fleet services, the property payments, operating lease, maintenance of administrative building, and the implementation of systems to improve efficiencies. Education management have received an increase of 11.5%. The total increase for program 1 is 366,101,000. Program 2, being public ordinary schools, has received an increase of 4.9%. Public primary level receiving 4.3%. Public secondary level at 5.7%. Sports and culture 6.1%. A national school nutrition program 6.7%. The EPWP grant for provinces is reflecting a 460% increase. with the reduction of the social sector incentive grant by 100%. This is the indication that these two grants has actually been consolidated with the scrapping of the incentive grant and moving the budget to the integrated grant for provinces. Hence, the figures are showing 100% reduction. Those two have been combined. Maths, Science and Technology grant has received an increase of 3.4%. For Program 2, a total of 2,568,797 has been received. Program 3, being independent school subsidies, has received a reduction of 11.7%, primary level reduced by 14.5%, and secondary level by 6.9%, an overall reduction of 11.7%, primary level reduced by 14.5%, and secondary level by 6.9%, and over four, being public special schools, has received an overall increase of 7.3%. The schools themselves, 7.3%. Human resource development at 6%, and the grant learners with profound international disability receiving 5%. The total increase being 125 million. Program 5, early childhood development, has received an increase of 8.5%, being grade R in public schools, 7.3% increase, pre-grade R in the ECD centers, receiving a 4.8%, and the ECD grant at 24.1%. The overall increase in 51. Program 6, the infrastructure development has received an overall increase of 5%, being administration of the program at 5.2%, special schools receiving an increase of 16%, and the early childhood development receiving a 36.2%, an overall increase amounting to 135,187. Last program, which is Program 7, exams and auxiliary services, with an increase of 18.4%, 7.2% going to professional services, and 5% going to conditional grants, and the external examination, the 2.5%, payments to the SETAs at 1.5%. The total amount allocated to this program is 338,022,000. We have listed all the conditional grants that the department is receiving, and their functions. The EIG grant being to upgrade, including upgrading of existing school infrastructure, rehabilitation, as well as construction of new infrastructure assets. The HIV and AIDS life skill education grant funds life skill programs aimed at creating awareness in respect of the epidemic among learners and educators. The NSNP grant is providing nutritious meals to quintile 1, 2, and 3, and those that I have applied 4 and 5, that is from a disadvantaged background. The Maths, Science and Technology grant caters for equipping technical secondary school with necessary equipment to enhance the that I have applied 4 and 5, that is from a disadvantaged background. The Maths, Science and Technology grant caters for equipping technical secondary school with necessary equipment to enhance the curriculum. The conditional grants, we have provided a table for the allocation of the conditional grants, as indicated, a total of 304,603,000 has been allocated. The Education Infrastructure Grant, EIG, has been allocated 2,489,596, followed by the NSNP, the National Schools Nutrition Program, at 2,335,101. Then the HI,280, learners with profound intellectual disability at 38,431, math, science and technology at 1,000. The cost drivers for the department